Om Shanti, Morning murli, 12th July. Sweet letter of Bap Dada for sweet, sweet children. Essence, sweet children, don't have bodily love for any bodily beings. Have love for the one Father. Practice becoming bodiless accurately. Sweet children, don't have bodily love for any bodily beings. Have love for the one Father. Practice becoming bodiless accurately. Question: what is the duty of merciful children? What is the duty of merciful children? Answer: when anyone speaks of useless matters, don't listen to such useless matters, but report it to the seniors for the benefit of that person. This is the duty of merciful children. To help others finish their old habits is to be merciful. To help others finish their old habits is to be merciful. Second question: what title cannot be given to bodily beings, although it can be given to Father Brahma? What title cannot be given to bodily beings, although it can be given to Father Brahma? Answer: the title Shri cannot be given to anyone, because Shri means someone who is elevated and pure. Shri means someone who is elevated and pure. No bodily human being can be given this title, because everyone takes birth through vice. Father Brahma is called Shri because this is his alokik birth. Song: take us away from this land of sin to a place of rest and comfort. Om Shanti. You children have now understood, that is, you have become sensible. Therefore, surely you were previously senseless. People cannot even understand that this is the impure world and that the kingdom of the deities was in this Bharat, and that you were pure and happy there. There was no question of sorrow there. However, because of having heard certain things from the scriptures, they cannot even understand that there was constant happiness in heaven. No one knows about heaven. They believe that there was sorrow there too. They believe that there was sorrow there too, but that is their senselessness. You children have now become sensible. The Father has come and explained to you. You are following his Shrimad. This is the impure world. Heaven was a pure world. If there were sorrow in a pure world, that would be called a word of sorrow. Then the song would also be wrong. They even say, "Oh Baba, take us to a place where we can have rest, comfort and happiness." You children know that heaven was the golden sparrow and that deities lived there. They never caused anyone sorrow. They sing of these things. Such things are written in the scriptures, so they believe all of that has continued from the time immemorial. They have even falsely accused Krishna. They have even falsely accused Krishna. It is said, as is their vision, so their word. They believe that the whole world is impure. At this time, their vision is impure, and so they consider the whole world to be impure. They believe that impure activity has continued from the time immemorial. You children now continue to receive this understanding, but this too is number-wise according to your efforts. The children of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, receive directions. The Father sits here and explains to souls. All souls are now impure, and this is why it is said impure soul and charitable soul. The Father sits here and speaks to souls. You are my imperishable children. You are my imperishable children. You also speak of Mama and Baba, No one in this world can be called Pita Shri, elevated or respected father. No, Shri means elevated. Not a single human being is elevated. This can be the praise of only one. Here, all have been created through vice. This is why they cannot be called Shri. However, at this time, you can call this one Shri because he has adopted renunciation in order to become elevated. You know that we are now going to become angels. You know that we are now going to become angels. Corrupt ones cannot be called Shri. People say Shri Lakshmi, Shri Narayan, Shri Radhe, Shri Krishna. They even sing praise of all of them in the temples. They cannot call themselves elevated. You children have now understood that Bharat was elevated. It was a pure word. It is now an impure word. Impure ones are called corrupt. Impure ones are called corrupt. Those people have gatherings to make corrupt people elevated. However, the word is corrupt, and so how could anyone make anyone else elevated? This truly is Ravan's kingdom. It is due to this that they burn an EFG of Ravan every year. He does not get burned through. He comes alive again. People are not able to understand why they create a new EFG of someone they have already burnt. This proves that Ravan's kingdom has not yet ended. There is the kingdom of Rama in heaven. There they don't create EFGs. It is said Ravan was burnt and then Lanka was looted. They show a golden Lanka of Ravan. However, it is not like that. The whole world is Lanka. Everyone is in Ravan's kingdom. That Sri Lanka is an Iceland. They have even shown it like that. It is at the tail of Bharat. However, it is not only there that is Ravan's kingdom. The whole world is Ravan's kingdom. The whole world is Ravan's kingdom. You also understand this? What would a senseless person understand if he went and sat in a college? Nothing at all. He would simply waste his time. This is God's college. No new person who comes here would be able to understand anything. You first have to make them sit in quarantine for 7 days, by which time they would become worthy. Nevertheless, if that person is a good, religious minded person, ask him, what is your relationship with the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul? He is the Father of souls and the Father of humanity. Prajapita is also a father. These points are very good, but your children still don't remain that cheerful. The father says, I tell you new points through which you can become intoxicated. So you should know how to explain to someone. You should know how to explain to someone. In the copies of the form, there should already be this question. They would reply that he is the Supreme Father and so he is the Father. Then at that time, the notion of omnipresence would not exist. When you ask them this question, they would say he is the Father and we are all his children. If they accept this much, you should quickly get them to write this down. We are also the children of Prajapita Brahma. Shiva is the grandfather, whereas he is the father. Shiv Baba is the one who establishes heaven, and so we would definitely receive the inheritance from him. Tell them the easiest things of all. It is very easy. Also go to your friends and relatives and explain to them. You have the intoxication that you are claiming your inheritance from the grandfather through Brahma. You receive the inheritance from Bap Dada. You don't receive an inheritance from the mother. No, the Father has to establish heaven. Father has to establish heaven. He is the master, just as he has a right to the grandfather's inheritance. Just as he means Brahma Baba has a right to the grandfather's inheritance, in the same way the grandchildren also have a right. The Father says, remember me. I don't tell you to remember this bodily being. The Father is speaking personally to you. He explained to you in the same way in the previous cycle too. He explained to you in the same way as in the previous cycle too. You receive the inheritance from Bap Dada. It is not that you receive it from Mama. You become very body conscious. You also have love for bodily beings. O souls, you came bodiless, and then having played your parts, you have now completed your 84 births. I now tell you, you have to go back home. So constantly remember me alone, and your sins will be absolved. Your sins would not be absolved by remembering bodily beings. Your sins would not be absolved by remembering bodily beings. You made a promise, Baba, I will remember you alone. You don't want to stay in this old world anymore. There is no comfort in it. This is why you say, take us to a place where there is happiness and comfort. You say that you will first go to the land of peace, where there will be nothing but peace. You will go to the land of happiness from there, where you will have both peace and happiness. When there is sorrow, there is peacelessness. There is a peace in happiness anyway, but that is not peace. The land of peace is the sweet home of souls. The land of peace is the sweet home of souls. The Father is the one who has the whole knowledge of the beginning, middle, and the end. It is now the business of you children to study and teach others. You also have to act for the livelihood of your bodies. You know that you will go from this land of death to the land of immortality via the land of peace. So you have to keep this in your intellects. You have to study until you die. You can at least remember this much. You now have to go to your home. So you have to renounce this word and everything within it. You have to renounce this word and everything within it. There should also be happiness. You have understood the secrets of this unlimited play. When a limited play ends, they change their costumes and return home. In the same way, we too now have to go back. The cycle of 84 births is now coming to an end. People remember, O purifier, come. So you only remember Shiv Baba. On the one hand, they say, O purifier, come. On the other hand, they say that God is omnipresent. There is no meaning to that. There is no meaning to that. It has been explained to you children so well that you should remember the land of peace. This is a land of sorrow. None of the gurus would be able to say this. Only you Brahmins would say this. Destruction of this land of sorrow is just ahead. This is the same Mahabharat war. There are the Yadavs, the resident of Europes, and also the brothers, the Kaurva and the Pandavas. They all belong to same home. There cannot be a war between brothers. There is no question of war in this. This too is a wonder. What can people not do? They make up stories about what has not even happened and spoil each other's heart. Look what the business of God Vyas is. The business of people is to make one another fight. that is a system. They all become enemies of one another. Even a child becomes an enemy of his father. So look what you have in your intellects and look what they have written in the scriptures. The scriptures are given so much respect. They even take them around a city out of reverence. They even place idols of the deities in a chariot and take them around a city. They then put all of them in the sea. They all have their own customs and systems in this land of death. Look how hug the Father's plan is. How hug the Father plan is. He finishes everyone's plans and establishes the land of happiness. He sends everyone else to the land of peace. Look at the one whom you children are sitting in front of. You have the faith that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, is the ocean of knowledge. He is giving us knowledge through these organs. Would there be any other such spiritual gatherings? Would there be any other such spiritual gatherings? The Father is now sitting in front of you and explaining to you. You know that the Father is speaking to us souls and that we are listening through these ears. Baba is speaking through the mouth of this Dada. The jewels that emerge from Baba's mouth are the jewels that should emerge from your mouths. While hearing useless things, you must not listen to them. Some of you happily sit and listen to such things. Baba says, don't listen to such things. Become merciful, and if anyone has any old habits, you should help to finish them. You should help to finish them. You should not just agree with them and listen. We will not listen to defamation of Baba, who makes us into the masters of the land of happiness. We have to claim our inheritance from Shiv Baba. What connection do we have with anything else? Whether others listen to you or not, you should at least apply the ointment of knowledge. You should at least apply the ointment of knowledge. Some apply the ointment of knowledge and others apply the ointment of dust. The third eye does not open through that. Baba explained to you so easily that anyone who is diseased, blind or hunchbacked would be able to understand. There are just the two words, Alf and Be. Simply ask them, what is your relationship with the Supreme Father and with Prajapita Brahma? This is the best question of all. Then the notion of omnipresence would be completely thrown out. Stay friendly with your friends and relatives and explain to them. Become very sweet. Become very sweet. It is your duty to give the introduction. Stay friendly with even your enemies. Stay friendly with even your enemies. The Father says, you followed devilish directions and defamed me. You defamed God, and yet God uplifts you so much. For God to be defamed is also fixed in the drama. This is why it is said, whenever there is extreme irreligiousness, I come. I have come in Bharat. He is explaining to you children, everything has to be understood very well. If it is not in anyone's fortune, he continues to carry on with the same behavior. If it is not in anyone's fortune, he continues to carry on with same behavior. As soon as they leave here, they forget everything they have heard here. This has become your conditions by defaming God. So now stop defaming him. Don't just become a Pandit. You are true and strong Rajyogis. Explain in this way so that the arrow can strike the target. If there are weakness in you, you cannot say anything to anyone. The sin inside will continue to make your consciousness bite. Baba explains everything very well. He explained in the same way as in the previous cycle too. So don't forget it. While remembering him, your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. While remembering him, your final thoughts will lead you to your destination. Wake up early in the morning and remember the Father, so that at the end you would not even remember your own body. I am a soul. Acha. To the sweetest, beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the mother, the father, Bab Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and we spiritual children says namaste, good morning to our sweetest spiritual father. Essence for dharana. First, the jewels that emerge from the father's mouth are the jewels that should emerge from your mouth. Don't speak about or listen to wasteful matters. Only the ointment of knowledge should be used. Second, have true friendship with everyone. Be very sweet and cheerful as you give the Father's introduction. Become the same as the Father and uplift even those who defame you. Today's blessing. Feel Baba's hand on your head and take peace. May you become constantly victorious and free from obstacles, and make the fortress strong by using the method of cleanliness. May you become constantly victorious and free from obstacles, and make the fortress strong by using the method of cleanliness. Before you begin a task, you use the method of cleanliness. In the same way, before some special service begins at any place, or when obstacles come during the service, you do as you move along. Then first, all of you together at the same time must give a donation of yoga everywhere. Let all souls have the one pure thought, victorious. This is the method of cleanliness, and by using this, all of you will be victorious and free from obstacles, and the fortress will become strong. Slogan: the practical fruit of right actions is the attainment of happiness and power. The practical fruit of right actions is the attainment of happiness and power. Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba.